Today's video is sponsored by Cream Crew, my podcast with my friends. Go download it. Go check it out. For real. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down. Today we're going to be talking about a movie that I love called Event Horizon with my friends, Flash Kids, Tom and Don.
Hello.
Which one's Tom, which one's Don, we'll never know.
I'm Tom.
Bleep that. Cut that out. This is just a sci-fi movie that came out from 1997 starring Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne, Neo, and that one guy from Jurassic Park, right?
Which one?
Sam Neill?
Oh yeah, that guy.
He was in Jurassic Park. It's a sci-fi horror film about a ship rescue, and it's about all the spooky things that happen on the ship. General, before we get into spoilers, would you guys recommend the movie? What would you give it out of 10?
6.
Oh, that's pretty high.
That's higher than you would give it?
Yeah, it's just, it felt like it's just kind of a standard, not very good horror movie, you know?
You're such a Debbie Downer.
More like I'll give it a 5 for originality.
I would personally give it an 8. We have quite the little fluctuation of scores here, but, spoiler warning if you haven't seen this movie, even though, it's been 30 years, like what the fuck.
Well, now I'm curious, because obviously I never watch your channel. But what other movies have you given 8?
Let me tell you something, not a lot. People are usually very upset by how low I give scores to movies.
What did you give The Thing?
The Thing? I haven't done a video on The Thing yet, but if I did, I would say it's the best movie ever.
So it's a good 8.5.
Yeah, that's a solid, probably 8.75.
Okay, so it's around The Thing in its execution. I'll defend my 6 in that I think the set design's pretty good. I think like a lot of the concepts are actually pretty cool for most of the film, and then it takes this weird turn into almost like scary movie-esque comedy.
Oh shit! That's what makes it even good though. So you're giving it negative points for a thing that I think is a positive.
That is the high, that's where your 8 comes from.
For a movie that is 30 years old, that's the kind of stuff that makes it rewatchable.
It tries really hard to like make everything kind of cool and believable. And then there's just this one character called Cooper, who is the biggest like stereotypical like black guy from the 90s.
Mr. Cooper.
Skipper!
Ion drive in 10 minutes.
Ooh, it's time to play Spam in the Can.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, and they're just like, okay, after the scientist explains like the graviton field and the warping through dimensions, can we have Cooper say shit in like the most stereotypical accent possible and then fly around the room like a empty balloon?
Well, I mean, a product of its time. I was supposed to apologize for everything that we have here.
It's so funny though. It is really funny.
Yes! Here I come, motherfucker!
Pretty much the movie is all about, like I said, Sam Neill and a ragtag team of rescuers. It's like 2047, not that too far from the future. They said that in the beginning of the movie, they say in 2015 that they've colonized the moon. And then 7 years later, in like 2023 or like 2022, we're full-scale industrial mining Mars.
It's not far off.
Yeah.
Ewan, bro.
Well, what's weird is like, it's such a weird thing where it's like, this film was made in 1997 and all of a sudden they're like, by 2015, we're probably going to be colonizing.
The economy's really good right now.
What's funny is like, it's not even 20 years later. They're like, by 18 years.
Yeah, everything was rosier before 9/11.
I could have seen being convinced in 99.
Like, checks out to me.
Oh, so we were there like, what, 40 years ago?
I mean, we did just get Walkmans.
We can't pitch a tent up there and...
I think people also, just before the 2000s hit, I think that if you saw anything like 2015, you're like, oh, what a far away number.
That's how I feel about 2040, so I can see it.
But anyways, that's the title card of the movie. We're lingering too long on the title. Yeah, that was a big thing in the 90s too, was the text crawl across the screen giving you information. Beep, 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 beep.
I still fuck with that.
Do you like that? I don't. It's so outdated now.
No.
It was killed with me whenever I watched MacGruber. Now I can't take it seriously anymore. So it's 2047. Sam Neill, he's like the engineer. He's the maker of this ship, the Event Horizon, which is meant to go light speed. He's with a rescue team to go find them because the Event Horizon went missing in 2040. And in 2047, the year now, now put that now, the beacon is back. They can go find it. So now they're gonna go and look and see what happened to the Event Horizon. And the whole thing, did you like the way that, because this whole movie is, in a way, it's like a mixture of time travel, interdimensional travel, in a way.
Wasn't it time travel?
I mean, the whole thing is that if Sam Neill, who was supposed to be on the ship at the time, and later on in the film, he's dead, right? Wasn't he on the ship?
Oh, I thought that was just like it's the end of the movie that we saw at the beginning.
Farewell.
I don't know. But essentially, it's dimension traveling. He uses an example of putting a piece of paper and he pokes one hole at the end of it and the other one at the end, and he folds it. And he's like, that's how it works. He does this for like 2 uninterrupted minutes. And all the girls like,
There was a missed opportunity. He poked a hole through her mouth, a hole through her pussy, and then
he folds her up.
And then all the guys are like,
That's awesome though.
both at once?
He's like, Miss, may I? And yeah, he like folds her up, pussy to mouth.
Yeah, it's not even the paper anymore. It's just the woman on board the ship. Just folds her over.
We bend her, yeah.
The human origami. So yeah, it's about this whole deal. But then the big twist and turn of this movie is that by doing so, the dimension they go through is hell.
Which is very reminiscent of Warhammer 40k.
Which is literally the only reason why I brought you guys here to do this, is because you are the Warhammer experts. And is it or is it not, did Warhammer steal from Event Horizon, yes or no?
I can't answer that with a yes or no.
We didn't do enough research. We're not sure.
Your gut reaction, what would it be?
It stole from Warhammer, yes.
Oh, Event Horizon stole from Warhammer?
Yes.
Nick edited it to where they say that the Warhammer stole from.
It stole from Warhammer.
No.
Warhammer would never steal from anything. And at that part, you can go through a whole bunch of side-by-sides of all the things Warhammer has stolen from.
The reasons why I give this an 8 out of 10 for me, the space future set is so 90s and just like basically the entire space aesthetic since Alien has been the exact same. Everybody copies Alien. Even to like kind of modern day sci-fi films too. There was that Kristen Stewart movie where she's like underwater or some shit. There's a lot of space movies where people are underwater for some reason. Pandorum, remember that? That was like the whole twist. Spoilers for people who haven't seen Pandorum.
Is that the one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence?
No, I don't know what that is. I know they fucked in that though. So if you want to see a fuck scene between them, you know, it's there. Yeah, so the sets.
Yeah, the sets.
The sets are good because he does that thing and you know, you're talking about how the cheesy charm of the text going across. I love random buttons and people typing on keyboards in in future things. Yeah, no, they're clicking all sorts of like highlighted buttons and shit like that.
Lawrence Fishburne's got his little ceiling-mounted cripple chair.
Yeah, the cripple chair, which reminded me, I don't know why, whenever I was watching it, it made me like think of Viggo Mortensen. How the fuck do you say his name? Aragorn. In Crimes of the Future, that Cronenberg film, he has like this fucking bed that he lays on and he chokes. Whatever, he's like, kind of remind me of that. Also his feeding chair. You guys don't know what I'm talking about, but it reminded me of that. But it was funny because during the crash, the set is like, it looks okay, but it's very cheap. I don't think it was built very well. I mean, like even...
I thought it looks pretty good, but you can tell he's using his muscles to shake.
He's like, whoa!
Whoa!
He's very Star Trek.
He's shaking it, but it's also like, it's like supposed to be this big heavy metal chair. Like it's supposed to be like all metal. And he's swinging like it's a fucking toddler at a park. He's like, oh my God. And like people, you know, so his legs are kind of gimpy and he sits there and
he does Stephen Hawking sit.
It was like the chair was too small. Yeah, he's kind of.
He's like, what's the coordinates? And it's like Stephen Hawking like turning around and talking to people. Even though Sam Neill later when he's in his demon form, the chair kind of worked for him there. I liked him in the chair.
I liked the set design because it was very, in a Warhammer sense, like unnecessarily gothic.
Oh yeah.
Like spikes everywhere.
In the like main converter room, which like the technology is like a gravity core or whatever the fuck they called it. But the room that it's in and even the device itself looks like a doomsday device. Like it looks like a fucking, like it looks evil in nature. And like, I think it's cool. I thought it was just fucking rad. But I mean like there's a lot of great little set pieces like the kitchen, which is just a blatant ripoff of the Alien kitchen. Even like the weird, Sam Neill has to like go and check the computer or like the server room underneath the hell spike pit thing. It's in that room and he crawls through and it's just like a green corridor of like computer motherboards basically.
Well, to give more context too, it's like they go to this ship to see what happened to the old crew, and as soon as they get in there, they basically start hallucinating. And all this crazy shit happens.
Yeah,
people getting like
it's
dragged
very,
through portals, like.
It's like very Lovecraftian in nature in a way. It's like descending into madness, which is funny because Sam Neill was in At the Mouth of Madness.
Well, what Sam Neill does in this, after literally people see guts everywhere. People are like flying through portals, like crazy shit is happening. And Sam Neill spends the next 40 minutes of the film gaslighting everyone.
Love it. That's another reason for a big 8. I love in movies, that's like another reason why The Thing is one of my favorite movies ever, is because it's just, I don't know why, in movies, I love when people gaslight people. He's like sitting there, he's like, I don't know, you're probably just hallucinating. She's like, no, I saw a dead body, like it was like, and it's like multiple reports to where it's like, this can't be a coincidence. He's like, man, you're probably delirious. You're probably, she's probably tired.
And someone's on the rag.
Period.
Yeah, it's like literally recordings of like demons talking Latin.
Yeah, that was so funny.
He's just like, oh, I mean, it could be anything. Atmospheric, like, exposure.
That feels like the number 2 reason is because all of the moments that are hilarious that aren't meant to be funny, that are played really straight, and it feels like it's like, yeah, this is like kind of weird and cool, but no, it just comes off really, really funny. Oh, there's a transmission, and as soon as they click it, it's just, ah! And everyone's just like,
and there's like a Latin voice like, what is that?
what the hell is that? You brought up the funny fact too, that it's like, one guy on the ship's like, oh, it's Latin for save me. And it's like, out of all the scientists on Earth,
Yeah, Sam Neill's like, this is gibberish. I mean, who could understand this? And the guy's like, I think it's Latin.
oh.
You're like, okay, NASA didn't think it was like Latin. Like, no, indecipherable, can't get it.
There's a lot of moments like that. Like, I also love the moment when the character Justin is going insane and his eyes are exploding in this decompressing chamber, and Lawrence Fishburne is like, Justin! Swimming through space to get him. He tackles him and comes inside. It's just like, the whole sequence of that event is just really funny to me.
I just don't understand their like choices. Because like I said, for most of the film, they're trying super hard to keep it grounded. And then out of nowhere, the black guy gets shot into fucking space, and he uses his little like jet boosters on his, it's not even boosters, it's like decompression air. It's like oxygen. He's in space looking down at the whole of the planet.
Because the ship blows up, their getaway ship blows up, and he's like stuck on it. And as he's hurling through space, he's like, ah, man, me again? Of course this would happen.
Yeah, he's like, motherfucker! And then he uses oxygen tanks to blast back into fucking orbit.
Unironically, Cooper is the Elmer Glue to this film. He really if he wasn't there to be so over the top, I don't think any of the other scenes would really read that funny. I think it would just read bad.
I don't think it's meant to be a comedy.
No, but see, but that doesn't matter. It's the fact of like how you read him in the movie and like how his performance comes through. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but 75% of the film, they were on like the same track, and then suddenly from orbit, he pinpoints the ship. Let me explain how retarded this is. From orbit, he pinpoints where the ship must be in this giant storm. He could see like the whole continent of that planet.
Yeah.
And he still pinpoints the exact window that the ship is on, just so he can like press his face against the glass artistically and be like, motherfucker!
Oh shit!
Yeah, the comedy is a great aspect, but that's just, and then of course for me, I love the Lovecraftian kind of descent into madness. There's a lot of cool, a lot of fun kills in this movie. The one that always makes me think of is when the mom is hallucinating about her son, and then she's like chasing after him and falls through, it hits the fucking floor, but it's like it's done really graphically and it just looks really good.
Again, I just don't know how you have the good taste to do something like that, and then you're like, okay, now for the fight scene, add kung fu punch sound effects.
I think the sound effects, which one, that adds to my point too for comedy. That adds.
Yeah, it's not a comedy film.
It doesn't have to be.
But it's not meant to be.
I think that at the time is also, it's definitely a studio coming in and being like, you need to have a fight sequence here. Because there should not be a fight at the end.
I think the fight was okay. It's just that you have when he's hitting him with like a CO2
If Sam
tube.
Neill is a demigod from hell come back, there's no reason why he should be in a fist fighting combat. He should just like lift him up with like telekinesis, whatever, you know what I mean, and throw him around or something. But instead they're like, oh, right now, like action movies, we need to have like something that's tonally the same from all these other fucking movies that are out right now.
What is weird is that it is, 2 years before The Matrix? And the soundtrack sounds like The Matrix.
You know, Matrix came out, I think we looked it up, it was 99. And like, it's just the 90s aesthetic of things. It felt like you see this movie and you're like, oh God, it just feels like the Matrix part. When they're on the ship in the Matrix and all that stuff.
I think the soundtrack was the same too, though. Like
Well,
it
that's the thing,
sounded
too,
the
is, like,
same,
the-
it looked the same.
Especially like the credit sequences and all these like 90s movies feel like they
No,
have
I mean
like
the orchestral start was like da, 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 you know.
Yeah, what are the brothers called? Wachowski?
the sisters.
Back when they made The Matrix, they were the brothers, no? How about this? Yeah, the directors of The Matrix.
There you go.
Heard about this fucking epic space war. They're like, we gotta make The Matrix.
The Wachowski duo.
The Wachowski duo.
We gotta make this.
We gotta make The Matrix. This film's coming out. It's gonna do gangbusters. You'll be pleased to know it did not turn a profit. It did not make its money back.
Matrix didn't?
Well, no, that clearly did.
Oh.
Event Horizon.
How much did Event Horizon make?
It came in $20 million. $20.
How much did it cost to make it?
$60 million, and they made $40 million back.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
You're the horror guy, Hunter. How would you fix this movie and make it a landmark horror? How would you make it a 10 out of 10?
Every time I see it, well, 10 out of 10, more gaslighting immediately. There has to be more deception. I mean, in a way, it's almost like The Thing. There's deception, people don't know what's going on. It's like a mysterious source. But I think there is an element that I think you could play into that more about who activated the gate or something. Like I said, get rid of all the bullshit, even though you do see titties.
They're not that good.
They are kind of like orangutan long nipple, like a mom's nipple.
They are proper mum nips.
But that's also kind of spicy. What did you guys think of the? What did you think of the ship? Did you like the design of the ship?
I didn't like the outer design.
I kind of liked it. I like how it looks like a giant diesel truck.
Looks
It's
like
how
a-
the front looked to me.
Giant uterus.
Maybe it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be the uterus going into hell.
That's good.
The birth cavity to hell.
The women in the film were insufferable.
I didn't think they were that bad.
No, they weren't.
Really?
Shut up.
Really, I liked all of them. I liked all the characters. I like whenever one of the guys is freaking out and then the other guy like immediately threatens to slit his throat.
Yeah, he starts. So he gets like betrayed and gaslit by Sam Neill, and he shouts a bit, which is kind of understandable considering everything that's happened. But his mates just like grabs the scalpel, is like, "Don't you fucking say another bad word, I'll kill you." You're just like, what?
The whole thing.
I guess they were getting like fucked up mentally though.
It's supposed to be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
After the afterthought's always like, oh, I guess they're going insane. But there's no buildup of like them actually like, you know, like they all should be seeing things. You need to have more of the surrealist element of like a literal portal to hell is on your spaceship. You need to have more of that. But to be fair, for a movie that like it misses almost every mark that it hits, I think that it unintentionally hits something else in a very strong, funny way. Which is why I always come back to this movie and like it's not a perfect film, you know? And also like, you know, little quirks I like too when you start a movie off. When you start a movie off, especially in the 90s, and they're trying to show you all the new CG technology they have,
Yeah.
and it's like low poly renders of like cups and stuff floating in space, you're like, oh yeah. Because you know some guy like was sitting in a studio and he had his 3D computer and he just got done rendering and he was like, yeah. Like watching this low poly cup like float in space. Yep, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Did either of you feel like Sam Neill just could not, for some reason his face just doesn't sell the demon sell?
Oh no, he hammed it in.
But the demon stuff, it just did not like work for me.
It didn't, not only did it not work, he doesn't go into it. Sam Neill's a great actor. He's in this movie in the 80s, I think it's like 1981 or something called Possession. It's fucking crazy. He's great in that movie. He's great in Jurassic Park, whatever. In this movie, he has two moods, upset and angry, or three, confused, upset, and angry.
Gaslight.
But the whole part is, I'd say that's confused in a way. I mean,
What?
I mean, what, you're probably just hungry.
Hey, sweetie, you're being kind of a bitch.
Are you an Empyrean?
That's literally, yeah.
But yeah, and that's all great. But I think that he was just like, He kind of just hammed it in. The reason I also say that is he has one of the worst scared yells ever recorded on cinema.
100%.
Oh! You know what I'm talking about, that part? Mm-hmm. Oh!
Yeah, I guess you know he's definitely capable of
They're like,
more.
Sam, maybe one more take, Sam. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't. What's that? What's that voice you're doing?
Sam Neill.
He's British.
He's British.
In the movie.
Oh, okay. So
He's British in real life.
We're going there, huh? They're like, Sam, you've got to be British in this movie.
I really don't want to.
We really need the audience to think you're an asshole.
I don't want to take another. I don't want to do another take.
Yeah, he was Wesley Snipes in Blade 3.
I don't want to. What did Wesley Snipes in Blade 3 sound like?
Well, not like
Oh,
that.
ham it in.
Well, yeah, like there was that thing where he wouldn't open his eyes, so they CGI'd eyes on him that open. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He didn't learn his script. He was reading cards the whole time too.
Reading cards.
In Blade 3.
Oh, someone's just like.
And like, I mean, the cards are like, and he was just like, no. You know what I mean? It's like just really simple shit. I forgot that he refused to open his eyes. That's so funny. That makes the movie that much better. That movie's so.
I love Blade 3.
Blade 1 and 2 are like, unironically, I think they're great action movies. I love watching
Oh,
them.
and Blade 3's not.
3, no.
I love it.
No. It's
Dracula dildo.
It hits in a good spot in different ways than the other movies, but I don't know. Anyways, this isn't a fucking Blade video, so who gives a shit?
So let's talk. Let's talk about the Warhammer aspects of this as your experts. That is the saving grace for this film for me, is the Warhammer kind of adjacentness of it. It's like the only part that really fucking tickles my dick, because it is very close to like, well, this is like ties into the lore.
Do you ever do you know of any other actual I couldn't think of any other Warhammer like horror films out there, or movies that are directly
There are
inspired
no
in
like
that way.
actual Warhammer films.
No, not
apart
actual
from,
ones,
like,
inspired
He means
kind of thing.
ones that-
oh,
this
that
one
like
feels-
really
this-
feel like it.
I mean, Alien and what you were saying, Starship.
Well, the
Troopers.
Alien came first.
Alien came before Warhammer was even a thing.
Oh, you mean that ripped off?
It means the
Warhammer?
other way around.
I mean, I'm not even sure this one ripped off Warhammer.
It might have.
It might have.
It might have.
But it is definitely the closest film I've ever seen to like tying into that universe's lore. And that was
It's a
kinda
very
cool.
such an interesting concept, and I know too at the time it's like $60 million though for like 97. That's a fucking budget. A lot of films didn't go that high, especially back then.
I actually thought the sets were pretty good.
The sets, like I said, look awesome, but it's one of those things where it's like people get, it's like little shit when you see like something's happening in a scene and somebody gets slammed up against a wall and then the whole wall kind of moves a little bit and you're like, okay. All right, like that kind of thing. Like Sam Neill crawling around the motherboard thing looks cool, but if you look at his knees on the, you like see the indent of like his.
Yeah, the plastic.
Yeah,
bending.
the plastic is like bending in the fucking thing, which it's whatever, but it looks cool. All the lighting, there's a lot of great, like, there's the yellow of that computer room, there's the dark, like, grays and blacks of, like, the black hole gravity machine room, the blue liquid in the tanks, the blue there. There's the one, like, walk pad area that's all yellow. Like, the way that they color-coded everything feels like a Doom game, which I thought was kind of sweet. Like, you kind of have these, like, areas that are all kind of color-coordinated, like, the kitchen's all white, once again, like the fucking Alien thing, but it reminded me a lot, especially the under the server room thing, the motherboard thing. It reminded me a lot of Cube. I don't know if you've seen Cube, but Cube is like very much like that, and they're all like color-coded areas and stuff. And I just think aesthetically it just looks really cool. A lot of great like lighting, and I like all the sets. I just like the idea that someone had to build these things, like the tube, and Sam Neill had to get inside this tube and be like float around in this fucking thing and be like, "Boo."
I like that the set design had, again, much like Warhammer, no respect for like actual usability.
Yeah, there's no functionality or anything. It's all aesthetic.
It's like, yeah, it's purely like, in that green tunnel he's going through, like how the fuck would you know where you're going? You'd literally get lost in there and die within like a day.
Why would you also make it to where you have to crawl on your hands and knees to go fix something?
Yeah, we didn't have much room left after the giant fucking NASCAR spinning contraption.
A computer server that like makes your ship function is right next to the black hole machine. It's like, the functionality of it is stupid. But when he opens up the hatch and you see that green pour out into that dark room, it's fucking sweet. It looks really cool.
Also, why didn't they just test this little black hole thing like before trying to use it? Why didn't they open a black hole and like send someone in through the goop or something? A camera?
Or a monkey.
Or a monkey?
I don't know. I think that it's one of those things where I feel like they're like, they kind of explain it, but then they're like, we'll never touch on that again in the film. Because it's like, it might not make sense. It's like the whole thing with like, in the Marvel Endgame and shit, when they talk about like time travel, it's kind of like when people use time travel as like a cheat code to fix weird shit or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of shit.
This is nowhere near as complicated as time travel, though. They could have cooked up something. You know what I mean?
I mean, they kind of did, but it's like, how do you show it? And that was the biggest thing I was gonna say is like, with the budget they had and the limitations of the time, like if this movie was made today, it'd be a CG nightmare, first off. But then also, you would at least have some moments of like seeing into the portal. You'd probably see more hell landscape stuff. But I think it was just them trying to like play onto the ambiguity side of it.
I did think it was funny, like when you see the flashes of like, he's like, let me show you how. It just looked like a 2007 Dimmu Borgir music video. It was super funny.
That's what I'm saying is they definitely filmed in that room that they're in, the gravity machine, and they just had the actors come in one by one, and they kind of just did shaky cam, and they just like did a circle around them. So people were like, ah, and they're like, we're turning around and stuff. But yeah, it looked a lot like, it reminded me a lot of that Dimmu Borgir one where they're going up the elevator. He's like, whatever, and he's like, they're going up with a giant, oh yeah.
I was like, oh my
the
God,
giant
this
pentagram.
This is allowed?
Oh my God.
There's that chick with massive tits on a chain leash. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God, get her off that.
Yeah, is she okay?
Why the hell are you chaining her up like that? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Event Horizon, what a fucking movie. I want to get the Blu-ray of it. I want to hear if there's any like director commentary to get any tidbits of him being like, yeah, I mean, we had to build this set in like 3
hours.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the fun shit about these movies too. If you like enjoy these movies, you should always try to find like director commentary if you're ever interested in the actual background stuff, because you can usually find like really funny stories, like people hurting themselves and they have to like redo shit, like all kinds of stuff. It's really interesting. But yeah, no, Event Horizon. I'm sticking to 8 forever. I don't care how bad the movie is. Not a testament to filmmaking. It is a testament to the experience, and I love the experience.
Oh yeah, definitely 6 out of 10.
For 5,
If you're a Warhammer fan.
I wouldn't even go. Yeah, 5 out of 10 if you're a Warhammer fan. 4 out of 10 for anybody else.
Or 8 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, also, yeah, if you enjoyed this banter.
If this was epic.
Hey, if you really had a good time listening to this, we have a podcast called Cream Crew. It's back. It was dead before, but it's back now. You should go click. We're going to leave a link in the comment section, and we'll probably leave a little link at the end tag screen thing. So click that if you want to have a podcast so we can make money for more cartoons.
Where's the energy? Come on. Cream Crew. Epic. Check it out. It's fucking awesome. Best podcast ever. Delete all that other trash and download Cream Crew. Click here. Link. Description.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start a Patreon and put this up uncut, and you can hear all Hunter's thoughts about Cooper. His
My thoughts about Cooper.
real
Tom's
thoughts
thoughts about Cooper.
What does that mean?
Tom, what was that one word? I never heard that word before.
The what?
The one that started with.
Why are you whispering it if you've never heard it before?
I just didn't know.
Something.
Well, I just didn't want to say it wrong. How was that pronounced? Okay, we're done. I see trees, green, red roses too. I see face for me. So I think to myself, you should go check out Cream Crew. Did you like that? I see I did it. You should go check out Cream Crew. I said that.
That was nice. Thanks, buddy.